Welcome to tonight's show. I'm your host organism, Ray Derman, and tonight we have 5 special guests. They're all essential parts of a cell, and without them, life may not exist. I know you're essential to life and all, but you guys are the most eccentric looking group of guests I've had so far. Let's get some introductions and we'll talk about what you do. Let's start with you to my left, and don't lie to me, I can see right through you.
I'm cell membrane, and yes, I can't hide anything.
You next, the one that looks like a blob of jelly.
I'm cytoplasm.
Now my third guest, you that looks like modern art meets a science experiment. What's your name?
I'm cytoskelet. My job requires me to dress this way.
Now my fourth guest. You look really insignificant to a cell. What do they call you?
The name's Flagella, but most call me Tail.
And my fifth guest. Everyone knows this guy. He's the powerhouse of the cell.
Mitochondria. Indeed I am. I'm Mitochondria, and it's a pleasure to be here.
I have a few questions for my guest about their importance to me and what they do. Things like that. So let's start off with you, cell membrane. How do you prefer to dress? Are you a mess? Are you well organized? What do you like to wear?
I'm kind of weird. Like, the part of me wants to dress in all blue, and the other part of me is like, no, don't even remind me of that water. So I usually just throw a bunch of proteins on and call it a day.
What do your hobbies include?
I like playing gatekeeper, I like to keep the microparticles out and let the important nutrients enter like water.
Sound interesting. Where do you currently reside?
I'm on the outskirts of town. I'm pretty much surrounded all.
What are you going to offer me?
Well, without me, foreign objects like harmful chemicals may enter your cells. I'm basically protect the cells from the outside world.
My final question is, cell membrane, how are you different than, say, Flagella?
Well, first of all, my function isn't to swim, it's to keep out foreign objects.
Sounds good, cell membrane. Glad to have you on board. Now on to the cytoplasm. How about you? What is your general appearance?
I hold a lot of the organelles except for the nucleus, and it takes a toll on me. So I kind of look like a blob of jelly. You know, that sweatpants on Monday look. Well, that's me. I am made of mostly water and salt.
Well, we all have those days.
Ugh, well, that's every day for me.
Do I really want you inside my cells then?
Well, obviously. All your organelles are held within me.
Oh, I didn't know. Where are you within my cells?
Almost everywhere within the cell membrane, I surround most organelles.
So what do you have to offer to me?
Well, I contain enzymes that aid in breaking down waste, and I help the cell complete basic metabolic functions.
How are you different from our previous guest, cell membrane?
Well, his function was to keep out foreign objects, and my function is to aid in breaking down waste and metabolic function. We also look a lot different.
Then I think you can stay. Shall we move on to you, cytoskeleton? What is your physical appearance? How do you like to dress?
I dress like the inside of a tent with lots of tubes and things.
Interesting. What do you like to do?
I like to hold things up, almost like the poles of a tent.
That's a weird hobby. Where do you do all of this?
I do it in the cytosol of the cell.
So what do you have to offer?
Without me, the cells couldn't have any shape and be able to carry out their role in your body. That shape may determine, for example, in the red blood cell, we're shaped like a nerve cell that isn't shaped for its purpose.
How do you differ from cytoplasm?
Well, cytoplasm is an entirely different shape and size. Also, its function is not to determine cell shape.
But who's this Flagella guy? He sounds kind of unnecessary.
Actually, I am very important to some cells. On certain bacteria, I aid in their ability to swim. More importantly to you, sperm cells need a tail so they can reach their final destination.
That seems important. So what do you look like?
Well, the tail. I'm a thin string-like structure.
Where are you located within the cell?
Actually, I'm located on the exterior of the cell, and there can also be more than one of me.
Okay, so why do I need you to survive?
Well, if you didn't have me, you wouldn't be alive. Also, you would not be able to reproduce.
So, Flagella, how are you different from cytoskeleton?
Well, I function as a tail, and cytoskeleton determines cell shape.
Well, I guess that's why I'm here. So, Flagella, you can stay too. Now, I think the next one everyone knows. He's the powerhouse of the cell.
Yes, I'm Mitochondria.
So, Mitochondria, what are you wearing?
Khakis. Just kidding. I really look like a bean with two inner and outer membranes.
And what do you do, Mr. Mitochondria?
I like making energy in the form of adenosine triphosphate, or ATP. This energy is used by every cell in your body and keeps you alive.
So that sounds pretty intense. Where do you do all of it?
There's usually more than one of me, and I do it all in the cytoplasm.
That's all good stuff, but what is this going to do for me?
Without me, your body would not be able to function because you would have no energy.
How do you differ from Flagella?
Well, I make energy, and he is a lowly tail.
Okay then, you sound like I wouldn't want to live without you. Thank you. Well, that's all for our show tonight. I hope all you listeners out there learned a little something about what goes on in a cell. Thanks to my guests and to my listeners, and have a good night.